Coach, you had an interesting quote, which a number of years ago, which I love and I found fascinating. And, it is, if you tell the truth, right, it's a part of the past. If you lie, it becomes a part of the future, right? And during one of your press conferences, and I thought it was a well-timed at the time. I thought it was a strong statement and well-stated. If you look back, I asked you the question about Louisville and where you are now as a man, as a coach, as a leader. What is the greatest regret that you have? How have you evolved as a coach from your experience in Louisville and what you're bringing now to the Iona campus?
There were certain things I wish I would have probably done my research a little bit better. The only thing I can say this way, I gave Jeff Van Gundy a break, got him started in the business, and hired him as a graduate assistant. I hired Billy Donovan as a graduate assistant. I hired one of my captains as a graduate assistant, moved him up the ladder. He was a captain of mine. He was a Dean's List student. His name was Andre McGee, and he did the wrong things in a dormitory that I built for my brother-in-law and best friend who I lost in 9/11. And still to this day, it breaks my heart deeply. Not so much that it was named after my brother-in-law and took place in that dormitory, but for a young man who had great parents, who was a Dean's List student, did all the right things for me, that he would go down that path. So I can't say that I wouldn't have hired him, because he had all the qualities that you look for in a leader and as a person. But sometimes in life, people do the wrong things. And I'm able today to forgive Andre McGee. He cost me an awful lot in my life, but I'm able to forgive him, because that's your fate. If you don't learn to forgive, then you're not much of a person. And I would love to be forgiven for some of the things I've done in my life, which I have. So I say this, what have I learned? I wish I could say I would have hired different people, but I did my due diligence. I checked all those people out. No different than checking out Kevin Willard, no different than checking out Mick Cronin or Tubby Smith or Bernadette Locke or Billy Donovan. I checked them out all the same way. So I think what I learned mostly, and I didn't do a good job of, excuses I always believe are a sign of weakness. And I made excuses I should have just said, I hired him, I take full responsibility, the axe has to fall on me, which it did, and move on. And I wish I would have just handled it that way, that I wish I would have said on the spot, I take full responsibility. Looking back on it right now, I deserve to be fired by Louisville. Was I innocent of any wrongdoing? Yes, I was, but I was the leader, and I deserve to be fired. I need to move on, and that's what I probably have learned the most.
Coach, do you think when you get this opportunity here at Iona, you talk about how, you walked us through how you got this job. What do you think you're going to present Iona basketball, that university, and those students up there in New Rochelle here moving forward?
Well, first of all, I'm replacing a coach that did a fabulous job. Great coach, Tim Cluse, and my heart right now and prayers go out to him as he's fighting an ailment that I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I know it's quite serious. And my prayers and my heart go out to him. He's a great coach, did a fabulous job. Iona, people always ask me, do you regret leaving? Vitale always says this, that if you would have stayed at Kentucky, you'd have more wins than Coach K. I said, Dick, that's not what's important. I said, because I learned so much from I just learned so much from going to Greece. I said, the important thing for me is I don't regret leaving Kentucky one day. The only regret I've had in coaching leaving was Providence College, because to me, that was what I was all about, that small little Catholic school, that it was a boy and a dream, and that's what it represented. And there were only really 3 jobs I was interested in since I've been back. One was when Ed Cooley was being rumored to go to Michigan. I would have had an opportunity possibly to go back to Providence. And then Holy Cross, there was an interest in me there, and that didn't pan out. And now Iona. I was looking for that type of situation. I wasn't looking to be back at a Power 5 conference again. I was looking for a small campus that I could be part of the community, that I could build it into something really, really special, whether it's a Gonzaga, whether it's a Dayton, whether it's just a Catholic school that's something special. That's my background, and Iona fits that need. It's 25 minutes from my apartment in New York City. It's 10 minutes from my son Ryan in Harrison, and it's 10 minutes from a club I belonged to in the last 30 years, Wingfoot. So it just has everything that I wanted to end my career with, and I hope I can bring it to the student athletes I'm coaching. I hope I can bring it to the community. I hope I can rally a town right now that's going through some difficult times, and I look forward to that challenge.
Coach, we're talking with Rick Pitino. For the people out there who are a bit dubious of you being hired, coming off the back-to-back scandals at Louisville, how do you guarantee that this thing is actually built on a solid foundation, that it's not just shaky ground, and that down the road at some point you're might be apologizing for another scandal?
Well, Maggie, I've coached 40 years, and the last 3 I'm not proud of, and certainly I've got to take ownership and responsibility for the people I was leading. But I also coached 37 years and 7 Final Fours and 2 national championships, and at 4 different conferences. My team was had the number 1 GPA. Outside of people going to the NBA, I've had almost 100% graduation rate. So there's an awful lot to be proud of, and with that, and there's an awful lot to be learned from your mistakes. But I've always been truthful. I've always told the truth to the NCAA, told the truth to the schools. I've always believed in doing it with great integrity, with discipline, getting the most out of the players. There are no guarantees that problems won't arise. We're going through it right now, and with the coronavirus, this is shaking the country, sure. And that's probably what's much more important than sports or basketball right now is the concern for people, and the world is going through this. So all I can tell you is I'm going to do it the right way, like I've always done it. I'm going to put the student athlete first. I'm going to put the college. My thoughts are going to be with the college with every move I make. I'm hiring a staff right now that I think will do Iona College proud. I've already hired 2 of the coaches. I've got 2 more to go, and I'll put together a great staff that's going to do it the right way and bring Iona, hopefully, carry on to what Tim Cluse built up and bring them to a level that Jim Valvano will be smiling in heaven with.